The Advocate for Success. Season 1, Episode 4, Thanksgiving. Produced by Elton Thomas. Mission Advocate is a store on Etsy where you can buy apparel to express your advocacy. Shirts are designed by the producer of the Advocate for Success podcast, Elton Thomas.
Empowerment can be expressed through your apparel. Visit the Mission Advocate store on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/missionadvocate.
Sally and Tom had been married for 3 years. They are meeting at a small coffee shop to celebrate Sally's birthday. As Sally approaches the coffee shop, she wonders what Tom has in mind. The year before, Tom threw a large surprise party, and Sally was very surprised. This coffee shop, though, it's much too small for a large party. Tom did not mention the get-together being for her birthday, but since it is her birthday, there must be a connection. Sally enters the shop, as Tom stands to greet her. Something about him seems nervous. They talk about their day, and then Tom asks if he can change the subject. Sally says, "Of course." Tom then explains, "I know that since you were adopted, you always wondered about your biological mother." Sally's eyes begin to widen as Tom continues. "Last year at your birthday party, I could tell you were missing someone, or something. So, I decided to start a project to find your mother." Tom reaches across the table and grabs Sally by the hand. "I found out that your mother passed away a few years ago in a boating accident." Sally's eyes fill with tears. "Thank you for trying." Then Tom says, "There's more. I found out that you have a younger sister." Tom then pulls out an envelope with a red bow attached, and slides it across to Sally. Sally somehow finds a way to say, "Thank you." Sally then opens the envelope, and there is a plain white card inside with some writing that says, "Your sister's name is Sarah, and she is sitting at the table right behind you." Sally looks at Tom, and Tom smiles and says, "Go meet your sister, my love." Sally turns to the table behind her, and there sits a beautiful lady a few years younger than her. Sally and Sarah stand and hug. Sarah then says, "Hi, I'm your sister, and your birthday present." They sit at the table and talk. Tom puts their purchases on his credit card, and then leaves.
There are two general ways that we can feel thankful or gratitude. The first is when there is a net increase in something positive that makes us feel pleased. We experience this when we receive a gift, compliment, or if someone shows effort to make you happy. The second is when there is a decrease in something negative that brings us relief. This could be the end of a healing process of a broken limb, and we may feel grateful for our arms and legs. It could be an escape from an abusive relationship, or good news from a doctor that a diagnosis is not terminal. In Sally's case, she is feeling the entire spectrum of thankfulness. Tom's efforts to find her sister makes her feel valued and pleased. And the idea that the search for her family is over brings her relief. Sally and Sarah talk for hours. They are delighted in the fact they both have names. Sarah shares with Sally that her mother always seemed regretful of something. Then later in life her mother shared about the adoption of her sister. Their mother also shared with Sarah the story of the choice to give up Sally for adoption. "Your dad and I were just too young and not ready to raise a child. The Missouri safe haven laws made it simple for us to just give her away. We truly hoped that she would have a better life."
Sally and Sarah returned to Sally's house later that evening. When they entered, a group of family and friends cheered. Surprise! Sally was just awestruck. Tom had surprised her twice, in one birthday. Sally enjoys socializing, opening presents, and of course, eating birthday cake. As the party draws to a close, Tom looks at Sally, and he notices that there is nothing missing. Truly, she looks like she has everything, and everyone, she needs. One by one, the guests leave, and Sally and Tom clean up. Then, they sit on the couch to relax. Sally leans on Tom, and Tom puts his arm around her. Sally says I hope that it's okay that I invited Sarah and her entire family over for Thanksgiving. Tom says, of course it's okay my love.
When people think of Thanksgiving, they often picture family gatherings with turkey dinners, pumpkin pies, fall decorations, football, and tryptophan-induced grogginess. While these are all fine Thanksgiving traditions, they miss the point of Thanksgiving. The real meaning of Thanksgiving is giving proper credit for the blessings in your life. When you give thanks, it keeps your ego in check, because you're recognizing that what you have is a gift. It's impossible to be a truly thankful person and boastful at the same time. Thanksgiving is celebrated on the fourth Thursday in November, and it has roots in harvest festivals and in the cultures of both the Pilgrims who first sailed to what would become the United States in 1620 and the Native Americans they encountered there. It's widely believed that the Pilgrims and Wampanoag shared a feast in 1621, and that it was the first of many annual celebrations. Today, the holiday is mostly secular and focuses on food. Traditionally, it's celebrated with a meal featuring turkey, mashed potatoes, squash, green beans, corn, maize, and cranberries. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is a popular tradition, featuring marching bands, performers, and floats depicting celebrities and cartoon characters. It's also common to say grace before meals and remember the suffering of the Wampanoag people who died in a brutal New England winter. In addition, we can all spend this day in gratitude for our own blessings and pray for those in need. Thanksgiving is an opportunity to remember to give thanks and express our appreciation for all that we are grateful for, including health and those in our lives. So take this day and reflect upon what makes life meaningful, both big and small, as it marks one of our nation's favorite traditions. Take time out during Thanksgiving dinner or the game to reflect on all that's good in your life and write down everything for which you are grateful, such as friends or family members who made an impactful contribution, or simply take time out on Thanksgiving to think about everything worth being grateful for in life. A recent study showed that those who journal their thankfulness experienced more positive feelings compared with those who don't journal. And with Thanksgiving, there's plenty to be thankful for.
It is Thanksgiving Day. Sally has been running the household like a project manager, as she anticipates meeting Sarah's family. Tom has been a trooper, taking notes, and assisting with the cooking and decorations. The doorbell rings, and Tom swiftly walks to the door and opens it. Sarah, her husband Joe, and 2 kids are welcomed inside. Sally quickly walks over and greets them. Sarah and Joe have a 1-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter. Sally says out loud, "Wow, I am an aunt." They all laugh, and Sally also gets acquainted with her brother-in-law, Joe. Sally and Sarah tell Joe and Tom to go watch football while they finish preparing the food. Sally and Sarah talk about their different and similar Thanksgiving traditions growing up. The table is set, and they all gather round the table. Sarah asks Sally if her family prayed before the Thanksgiving meal. Sally answers, "No," and Sarah says, "Neither did mine, but perhaps we may have a good reason to this year." Sally says, "Yes, we have a new joined family now, so let's give thanks to God." Sally looks at Tom, then he clears his throat and says, "Let's join hands." Tom stumbles to find the right words to say, but Sally is very pleased that he tried. As they all sit together at the table, none of them could be happier, or more thankful. There is one other meaning of Thanksgiving to think about this season. And that is the idea that good things happen when people work together, rather than fight for resources. Historically, there have always been 2 types of people when it comes to dealing with different cultures. One type of person sees that other group as a threat, and will want to take from them, while the other type of person will see that group as a resource, and will want to work with them to form a stronger community. Today, we see similar types of agendas in advocacy. Similar to the Pilgrims who joined forces with the Native Americans, good advocacy today will try to find the common ground, the win-win, and build stronger systems and communities. Thanksgiving, then, is just about families joining together at the table, it is also about people of all different backgrounds, cultures, and systems coming together at the table. Truly, we can always find both positives and negatives in anyone, and whichever one we look for, we will find, so let's look for the positives, and discover more things to be grateful for.